And once we had the data that showed there was a pattern of this happening in tennis, we started digging, and we teamed up with BBC and obtained a cache of leaked documents from whistleblowers inside the sport, which actually show that the tennis authorities have been repeatedly warned time and time again about a core group of 16 players, all of whom have ranked in the top 50, and 8 of whom are competing now at the Australian Open. I think the players that have been disciplined in the past by the tennis authorities for fixing related offences have all been right at the very bottom level, really low ranking players. What our files show is that actually this goes much, much higher. These are players at the upper level of the game, in the top 50. And people are asking, well, why would those players fix matches? The prize money at that level is reasonably high. But I think what Djokovic has said today is really interesting, because he was approached as a young player and offered a lot of money. And I think that a lot of these players, if they get approached when they're young and they're finding it very, very expensive to pay for a whole tennis tour, prize money at the lower level is fairly paltry, it can be really tempting to receive an offer for $200,000. And once you've fixed one match, they've got you over a barrel. You can't ever get out of it because they have the information that you've done that. And so I think then you're kind of stuck. Well, I find it strange, because what we've seen is a kind of whole file of really compelling evidence which was given to the Tennis Integrity Unit back in 2008 after a landmark investigation into match fixing, which reported that there were 28 players who the investigators suspected were implicated in match fixing, which was being orchestrated by gambling syndicates in Sicily, in northern Italy, and in Russia around Moscow. And that evidence was compelling. In one case, they actually had 82 text messages exchanged between a player and a Sicilian gambler who cashed in massively on that player's matches. And this was all given to the authorities, and they did absolutely nothing. They've admitted to us they didn't investigate that evidence. And we can see from our other files that the same players' names often are coming up again and again. What we're hearing from multiple sources, and the evidence that we're seeing in our files, really suggests this is a problem across the depth and the breadth of the game. It's widespread, it's happening at all levels, it is quite deep-rooted, and I think it's going to take a lot for tennis to really crack down on this effectively. And so yeah, I think there does need to be a full investigation. It needs to be transparent, the results should be published, and then I guess tennis needs to figure out some kind of roadmap to really reforming the game.
Good enough for me. Thank you.